Hey guys, I'm Mackenzie Hughes, a PGA Tour Canada player, and we're here at Dundas Valley Golf and Curling Club. Welcome to the 19th annual Able 1 Golf Tournament. I heard that you guys are working on being a little bit more energy efficient, so hopefully today I can share some golf tips that will help you guys be a little more energy efficient in your golf games and with your company work. Hopefully today I can share with you tips on how to maximize driving distance, how to be more efficient scoring the ball and shooting lower scores, and also just with course management and other game improvement tips just to help you have more fun on the golf course. One of the biggest things I find in amateur golfers and people that struggle with their golf games is that being efficient starts with having efficient equipment. And for me, I have all my ping stuff. It's all tailored to my game and the way I swing. You need to have stuff that's properly fit for you. There's a lot of guys that hit the ball really far. But you'll notice that a lot of guys that hit the ball really far don't always swing the hardest. They're very efficient. They hit the ball in the center of the face, and their drivers and everything are fit for them. So one of the biggest things is that one, you get that stuff, your driver and everything fit for you, and then the other thing too is you don't need to swing the club 100%. A lot of guys, including myself, we're only swinging the driver at about 85%. So hitting the ball in the center of the face and not trying to kill it are two of the biggest things I find that amateur golfers struggle with. So I'll just demonstrate that for you right now. So one of the biggest things for me being efficient in my golf game is I always focus on 3 or 4 fundamentals that are going to allow me to swing the club the best I can, and those are things that I can control right off the start. So I don't need to compensate my swing by any means because I've taken care of good technique and good fundamentals from the very beginning. So a few of the things I focus on, number one, my golf grip. So if I take a grip of the club, I'm not grabbing onto this club 10 out of 10. If you were to grab this club and grab it 10 out of 10, there's just so much tension in your forearms and your wrists and your hands that tension just kills golf swings. It kills the rhythm of the golf swing. So, when I grip a golf club, my tension level is probably around a 5. I'm not letting go of the club by any means, but there's a little bit of a looseness to my grip. So I grip that club and I focus on having those two V's in my hands. I want those V's both pointing to my right shoulder. So, if you notice, I'll take my grip right here, and that V right there pointing to my right shoulder. And then if I grab the club with my right hand, that V is also pointing to my right shoulder. So, I find that very important when I'm playing, and that's something I always focus on. And, another thing that's very important when I play golf and I focus on is good alignment. So, if I have good alignment, that's one of the biggest things in golf is am I aiming in the spot that I think I'm aiming. A lot of times I will put down an alignment stick, and you don't need to have one of these. I mean, these are just like a driving post that you can get at any home hardware store or Home Depot. Even if you had a golf club and you want to just put it down as you hit balls, you can do that as well. One of the biggest things is aiming the golf ball where you think you're aiming it. So, while you're practicing, put those clubs down and make sure you're aiming in the right spot, and then you'll ingrain that and become better at that through practice. Okay, so one of the things I like to focus on when I'm around the greens or when I'm faced with a tough chip is, I want to think about the percentages. So, right here I'm faced with a tough chip over a bunker. So, when I think about a chip like this, I think, okay, well, if I hit a great shot, how many times out of 10 am I going to get up and down and save par? The chances are, maybe half the time. For myself, I do this for a living, and I do it all the time. So for someone that doesn't play very much, or a weekend golfer, or anybody that's an amateur player, I like to tell them to kind of play their percentages. So if I get this ball up and down 5 out of 10 times, the average amateur might get up and down 2 times, even 1 time out of 10. So I like to tell them to play the smart shot, which is play it beyond the hole. If you have a tight pin to a bunker and you have a tough chip, oftentimes the best play is to just get it on the green, get a 15-footer at it, and not try and be too cute. The inclination or what you want to try and do is be the hero all the time. And if you guys just play the smart shot and play the percentages sometimes, oftentimes you'll score a lot better. So I'll just demonstrate that for you right now. So oftentimes what I see people do wrong is, when they're chipping around the greens and they have a lot of green to work with, a lot of times people go for their most lofted club, whether it's a sand wedge or a lob wedge. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it's very difficult for you to make a big enough swing, and when you make a big enough swing, your margin for error becomes a lot bigger because now your point of contact with the big swing becomes a lot harder to replicate. So when you take it back that far, it's going to be hard for you to match that spot back up when you come back down. So what I'd like to see people do more often is, rather than grab a sand wedge, grab an 8-iron and put that ball back in your stance a little bit. And the swing you have to make with an 8-iron or a 7-iron is so much smaller and more efficient than you would with a lob wedge or a sand wedge. So if I took an 8-iron and I was hitting a chip, the swing would only have to be about 2 feet long. And if I have a lob wedge in my hand or a sand wedge, the swing has to be almost halfway back to hit the shot far enough and with enough power. So what I'd like to see you guys do today and in your round of golf is pull out that 8-iron if you have lots of green to work with. And I'm talking 30, 40 feet of green to work with. Pull out an 8-iron, hit a little bump and run, put the ball back in your stance, and see if that works for you. So one of the things I find that most amateurs or weekend golfers do, and the way that they are, I say, inefficient on the greens is, oftentimes they're not aware of the slopes around them and the way the green contours. So, oftentimes people come behind the ball to look at the break, which way they want to play, which side of the hole they want to play it on. But what I tell them to do is, if you have a putt that breaks left to right, I'd like them to go halfway down the line of their putt and stand under the slope and look at it from under. So if it's breaking left to right, I'd like them to be right of their line and looking up at the line of their putt, just so they can get an idea of which way and how severe the slope is. And not only that, but you can get a very good idea of the uphill or downhill by looking at it from the side. So by doing that, you just give yourself a better chance with a little bit more knowledge to make the putt, and if not make the putt, hopefully have an easy 2-putt. So hopefully that helps you guys today as you're out there on the greens. Well guys, I hope you found my tips today to be useful, and if you guys want to follow along in my golf journey, you guys can follow along at MackenzieHughesOfficial.com. You guys can see scores, my personal bio, anything like that on there. And I hope you guys have a good day today and enjoy the tournament.